I'm Claudio Pagelli, and I'm doing this kind of guitars you see behind me, mostly arch tops, flat tops, and some weird electrics. Most of the time, let's say 90% of all the work we do is custom work. So we don't build twice the same. It's real custom made, tailored exactly to the wishes of our clients. What you see at the moment is just our version of a 70s style guitar when they use this fancy mother of toilet seat material, what I personally like very much. Of course it's high-end made, just looks cheap. It was inspired from the bass. We made first that bass on the left side. Then we had a client who wanted a less polished guitar with the design of the bass. And so in the same time I made for myself the other 70s style Ecolette guitar, we call it. Now you see 3 guitars of a guy. It's called Jamal Larussi. He's probably the most known North African musician, guitar player. And what you see is aluminum material on the guitar, who is inspired by an old ancient Tuareg symbol called the Cross of the Desert, and it's also the symbol of his band. So he wanted to include that on all his instruments. We started first was this Stratish kind of guitar. Then he wanted a less Polish one. That's the green one. And the last one we just finished was an arch top. Always with this aluminum material on. What is a special feature on that guitar? Because it's an arch top, you need F-holes, but we don't want it to have visible F-holes. So the F-holes are under that sign, and with these 2 screws, you can screw the plate up and down to the top. So if you play on stage, you can close the holes and you don't have any feedback. And it depends how much you open the F-holes, you have more or less bass. So you can tailor the sound to your needs. Over here we have 2 new arch tops I made. This, you see, it's like a shape in a shape with these black bevels. We have one bevel for the arm, one for reach higher access, and one for on the back that you don't destroy your, how you say, ribs, I guess. It's all with very nice flamed and quilted maple, Canadian maple. Everything what is black is ebony. Also nice detail is that heel. Normally you try to hide that, but we showed it, so it makes it a very nice element. And on top we use spruce. It's also a very special kind of spruce. It's called a moon season cut alpine spruce, because we live in Switzerland in the Alpines, and there I have access to the very best wood that is worldwide available. Over here we have a brand new classical guitar. I make since a few years I make classical guitars, but this is the first time that I show that to the public. What we changed the shape to make it a little bit more elegant, and the rosette we didn't took wood. We took metal, what sounds very strange for a classical guitar, but it's called damast steel, like the Chinese knives. And it's very thin, just 0.2, and so it's very light, it won't affect the sound. Also have a special invention in the bracing you can't see, and the headstock. It's always also a weird looking headstock, but it's much stiffer than a normal headstock, so you get a better attack and better sustain. And last but not least, we have our flat top. Also with a special detail. of the bracing. We invented a new style of bracing. We call it parallel X bracing. And we split the heavy X bracing, where you see normally on a guitar, into two. So we have a lighter top, a faster responding top, and still distributes the sound very well over the whole area. So this guitar sounds huge. It has a very mellow, very pleasing sound. The spruce at the top is also spruce. Back and sides are wenge. Everything black is ebony. It's a, for our eyes, very pleasing instrument. And it has a special body shape. We call it diner com, a dynamic, ergonomic, comfortable. And we did that. We started to do that on the arch tops, because normally they have this huge size, and when you play, your arm is up over your head, and so if you move the axis forward, your arm will rest much lower, so you can play a huge jazz guitar from us, and you have the feeling of a very small one. We license that. You can buy, for example, from the Eastman company. They license one of our arch tops, where you can feel that, because our stuff is just custom made. We just do 8 instruments per year, so it's maybe will be hard to find one of our instruments.